Good afternoon, Year 6. Nicola and I thought we'd just have a bit of a check-in with you and let you know of a few exciting kind of challenges and tasks that we're going to be setting for you this week. So I'm going to pass over to Nicola and she's going to tell you about a little science experiment stroke activity you can be doing at home.
Absolutely. Okay, so I have emailed this to your parents and carers, and I've also put it on Shobi. So what I'd like you to do is an observational sort of challenge, really. You don't need a screen, you don't need any kind of device, you just need a pen and paper. Now, I have sent a copy of it to you, which you can print out, or you can just use that as a guide to then draw your own table. So what you're going to do is you're going to observe your surroundings over the course of this week. Now, what that means is to kind of look at the things that you can see, that you can hear, that are natural, man-made, and how they change over the course of the week. So the categories that you're going to be looking at are temperature and weather. So you can go on the weather app on a phone or on an iPad, or just ask if you don't know, or watch the news, because that will tell you as well what the weather is like, to record the temperature each day. And obviously that would be in degrees C. And then also to make some observations about what the weather is like generally. So whether it's sunny, whether it's cloudy, you might want to have a little bit of detail here, because it might obviously be sunny in the morning, and then it gets cloudy in the afternoon, or it rains overnight, those sorts of things. Then also to have a look out your window, or if you've got a garden or a balcony, go out then, or make a few observations when you're out for your daily exercise, if you're going out. To have a look at what wildlife you can see. So obviously some kinds of wildlife is always the same. So things like trees and the grass, they're there all the time. But other wildlife will be transient, or it will change. So that's things like birds, butterflies, all those insects, all those sorts of things. So what do you notice? What can you observe when you're out there? Just make a list of the things that you see. And also the human behavior that you're seeing around you. So again, looking out your window, you might see people shopping if they've got bags with them. You might see people who are exercising. You might see people who are just walking. You might see people driving around. So have a look at, sort of spend 5 minutes recording what you see people doing during that time. So sort of see what the human behavior is like. And then finally, the sounds that you can hear. Again, over a sort of 5-minute period, think about what can you hear? Can you hear birdsong? Can you hear transport? Can you hear sort of loud noises of people, if people are outside in their garden, that sort of thing? Just make a record for 5 minutes. And then so over the course of the week, if you could do that each day, spend 5 minutes thinking about each category, recording what you find, what you see, what you observe. And then at the end of the week, you can have a look at some of the patterns that you might find within that data. So for example, you might notice that when the weather is generally warmer or it's more sunny, that has an influence or an impact on how people are behaving, or about which wildlife you see outside. So just kind of have a think about, are there any links or any correlations between those particular things? So the template that I've given you has got a table, and it's got all of those categories, and then a place for you to record your observations for each day. But equally, you could just craft a table like that on a piece of paper quite easily. Just a really simple grid of like the categories and then your observation, and then write a sort of more extended piece of writing on Friday about what you've noticed over the course of the week. So this is really playing on your observational skills, so that sort of observing over time, scientific inquiry skill that we were looking at in school, really looking closely at something and then using that to try and find a pattern. Okay, to try and pattern seek. So again, it can be done from inside your home, looking out the window, or out the door, or a balcony if you've got one. But it's something you can also be sort of having in your mind when you're out, if you're doing daily exercise, going for a walk. So that is your science observation project. Okay.
Excellent. Okay, and what I am going to set for you is, when I was speaking to lots of your parents, and I'm sure Nicola was the same, lots of them were saying that they'd love for you to be able to do something a bit more collaboratively, so something with your classmates. So each week we're going to set you a kind of weekly challenge that you can work on, and you can work on it on your own, you can work on it with your siblings, or you can work on it with your classmates. And you can upload it on a Friday, I think is probably the best, so you have the week to work on it. And this week, the weekly challenge that we've decided to set you going into our 7th week of lockdown, I'm sure you're all, just like Nicola and I, having to come up with kind of new and creative ways to keep yourself entertained. So your weekly challenge is we want you to design a game that could be played during lockdown. Okay, so it could be a game that you play within your house with your family members, or it could be a game that you play virtually with your friends. Okay, so you need to use lots of your builder skills. You need to be able to think creatively. You need to problem solve, because obviously not everyone's going to have the same things in their house. So you're going to have to think about what items could you use in your game that most people will have around the house. You're going to have to stay positive, because it's probably going to be quite hard to come up with a game. You're going to have to aim high. And if you are going to work with your peers, you're going to have to work well as a team. Okay, so that is your challenge. I am quite excited. I know that you're very creative, so I'm sure you'll come up with some good games. And if you send them, maybe Nicola and I will be able to have a go at playing some of them for you virtually and see if they work. So please do remember to include instructions for your games as well, because we want to be able to play them. Nicola, I know you wanted to mention about some of the assemblies that have been uploaded by Tanya and Sophie.
Yes, so you probably will have seen that some YouTube links have been sent out with assemblies that other members of staff have been doing. So Tanya, Claire, B, and Sophie have all done assemblies. So Tanya is doing her Friday celebration assembly, golden assembly, and celebrating lots of pieces of work. I hope you noticed some of your year 6 work that was on there, which we sent her to showcase. Sophie's been doing Thought for the Week assembly. So there was one last week and there's been another one today. So, and lots of you have sent in your suggestions for Thought for the Week as well, which we've sent on to Sophie. So thank you for those. So just make sure that you check those out, because it's nice to be able to see the other teachers as well, so keeping in touch with you. Everybody wants to make sure that you're okay at home. We all miss you. So it's a really nice thing that you could check it out. And I know that Claire did a little sort of guess where I am in the school building when she was on her duty day there last week. So that would be nice and fun. So yeah, please do check those out. There's a lot of information in there, particularly Sophie's one today talks about the global goal that we can be thinking about at the moment, and also some other sort of aspects linked to Skills Builder. So have a look at that and see what you can do.
Excellent. Yeah, and just on the topic of YouTube videos, make sure that you are going on to our Year 6 channel. You're obviously there just now. But every Friday there's a quiz going up, which has general knowledge questions and also questions on things that we've covered this year. So there's lots of kind of World War I and II questions in there. There's some science questions. So please do go and have a go, because it will just be refreshing your memory. Nicola's also doing The Girl of Ink and Stars. So reading that, a new chapter every day, and setting questions. So listen along. Nicola, do you want to carry on?
Yeah, so I explained this, I think, in one of my videos. So The Girl of Ink and Stars is split into 3 sections based on different locations in the book that the story takes place. So we're nearly at the end of the first section up to chapter 9. So I will then be setting some questions based on those first 9 chapters. So you might need to go back and listen to some of the videos again, and then you can send in your question responses after that. Okay, so I'm going to keep on uploading, but after I finish chapter 9, I will send you some questions that you can, and little activities that you can then be thinking about based on that.
It would be lovely as well, because I know The Girl of Ink and Stars, there's lots of maps, because one of the characters is a cartographer. Is that right?
It is, right.
So maybe you could do some kind of artwork around maps as well. Would be great to see.
Absolutely, it'd be really lovely.
Excellent. Just wanted to signpost a couple of the online lessons. We know that we've been telling you to kind of look at White Rose, Oak National Academy, and BBC Bite Size. There are obviously things that they're covering which you've done before, so it's more of a revision kind of activity. But on Oak National Academy this week, there's a really, really good lesson all about inference, so reading a piece of text and inferring. So I would suggest having a look at that. The White Rose math resources are really good as well. There's a great couple of lessons last week all about problem solving. So if you've not yet done those, you might like to have a little look at those. Talking about math problem solving, Nicola, you have also sent in with the email, or you mentioned in your email to parents about problem solving.
Yes. So some of you, either your parents or you, have said to me on Joby that you want some more maths challenge, that you're finding, you've got through the arithmetic, you're getting loads of really high scores, you're doing really well, which is fantastic. And you'd like a little bit more of a challenge. So firstly, I'm very pleased to hear that you want to challenge yourself. Well done. And so I've sent to Shobi and also to your parent emails. So it's the same thing. So you can just access it independently on Shobi. You don't need to go via your parents. There's some 3 sets of, I think, 30 questions in each one, and they're all greater depth, so more difficult reasoning problems, and they're based on all the areas of maths that you've learned this year. So you're going to need to apply your arithmetic and all of your other problem solving skills to those. There might be a couple that you can't do if you don't have a protractor, for example, at home, but I know lots of you do have that in your pencil case. So just have a work through those. I've also attached the answers, so you can then self-mark them afterwards. And I know that you're really good at doing that from all the practice that we've done in school. So you don't have to upload them. You could just write a little comment to let us know how you did, or any things that you found difficult, and we could maybe send you something that might help if you're struggling with a particular area. And on the subject of maths, little bit disappointed. Year 6 are at the bottom of the Doodle Maths leaderboard. I mean, come on, guys, please. It's very embarrassing for us when all the other teachers are saying, wow, look, my class have earned so many stars, and we're saying, ours too. So please, 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 can you go on Doodle Maths? Just a little bit every day. We'll bump our stars up. You can do it. We were top of the leaderboard for ages when we were at school. So let's...
Maple class was...
I mean, Rowan class weren't part-time, but...
Yeah, the other thing that I think, if you are doing any of the White Rose or BBC Bite Size Maths, and there's something that you've done, so there's been a lesson online that you've watched and you want a little bit more practice, if you just write on Shobi to Nicola and I that you've covered a particular topic, we can set you added extras on your Doodle Maths, and that way you're just kind of practicing and consolidating what you've learned as well.
Absolutely. And also just on general topics, I know that I've had a couple of people who said, oh, could you send me this, or could you send me something based on this? And that's fine. We're really happy if you want us to send you something specific. Obviously, we're not going to send everyone exactly the same thing if someone's asked for something in particular. So you can always ask if you feel like you need a little bit of extra help, or you found something you're super interested in and you want us to point you in the direction of where you can look for further information. I know that on some of those, the BBC Bite Size, the history curriculum is not what we've been doing at school. So you might then find that actually is an area that you're really interested in, and you'd like us to sort of maybe send you a website or send you a book that you maybe could try and access, that would help you with that further. And we're happy to do that. So make sure that you contact us on Shobi, and we will try and reply. Okay?
Yes, perfect. Well, it was lovely to check in with you, Nicola, and also with the rest of Year 6.
Absolutely.
So keep safe, keep working hard. Fingers crossed we'll be back at school very, very soon.
Yes, absolutely. See you soon.
Bye.